Today, we're digging into a theory about a war that, on the face of it, just makes no sense. It's a conflict that seems to be actively hurting American interests. So, why is it happening? The source material we're analyzing suggests the real reasons are buried in a pretty shocking web of secrets and blackmail.
And that really is the central question here. You've got a war that's hammering America's economy, its reputation, its strategic goals, and yet it just keeps going. Why? Well, the theory we're about to unpack suggests an answer that is way more disturbing than you might think.
To really get this theory, you have to start on the ground, with the consequences. The source paints this horrifying picture of what's happening in Iran's capital. After Israeli airstrikes, the city is covered in a thick, toxic black smoke. So thick that when it finally rains, it's not water falling from the sky. It's black. It's oily.
Now, you might be thinking, okay, that's an environmental nightmare for Iran. But the source argues this goes way beyond that. They say this is a self-inflicted wound for the United States. Let's really break down the economic fallout here.
So what we're talking about, according to the source, is Israeli jets hitting more than 30 fuel and oil depots all around Tehran. The result is this apocalyptic black rain, which poses some really severe long-term cancer risks for millions of people. And it's not just oil. They say crucial water desalination plants were also hit, turning this into a full-blown humanitarian crisis.
And look at what this does to the global economy. Oil prices just go through the roof. In response, Iran's IRGC has threatened to push the price to $200 a barrel, which, could easily spark a global recession. Just to put that in perspective, the Qatar energy minister was warning that prices could hit $150 in just a matter of weeks. 90%. Just think about that number for a second. That is the staggering collapse in commercial tanker traffic going through the Strait of Hormuz. We're talking about one of the most critical energy choke points on the entire planet. It's like a vital artery for the global economy has just been clamped shut.
And this isn't some abstract problem happening thousands of miles away. Nope. The pain is being felt right here at home. Americans just went through the fastest, most brutal spike in gas prices in the country's entire history. The Wall Street Journal is calling it the worst energy crisis since the 1970s. The takeaway is pretty clear. This war is hurting Americans badly right now.
Okay, so if the war is so obviously bad for American interests, why on earth is it happening? Well, this is the point where the official story really starts to fall apart.
So the public story is this kind of good cop, bad cop routine, right? The Trump administration says Israel acted alone with the bombings and that Washington is displeased. But the source asks a really simple, powerful question. If you're truly that unhappy, why not just pull your support and force them to stop a war that's actively harming your own country?
And it's not just critics saying this. I mean, even one of Trump's closest allies, Senator Lindsey Graham, basically said it out loud. He reportedly told Israel, "You destroyed the oil fields. That will hurt us." That quote just lays bare the massive contradiction at the heart of this whole thing. And that leads us to the real mystery. Why would a president who built his brand on America first follow a policy that's so obviously damaging to America? The theory we're examining posits a pretty explosive answer. It's not that he won't stop it, it's that he can't. He's trapped. Trapped? I mean, what could possibly trap the President of the United States? Well, the source alleges the reason has absolutely nothing to do with geopolitics and everything to do with a very familiar, very toxic name, Jeffrey Epstein. Now, check out this timeline, because the timing is, well, it's pretty wild. On day one, the Justice Department releases these bombshell new Epstein files. Just 2 days later, right as the story's exploding, Tehran is on fire. A massive global crisis suddenly dominates every headline. And just like that, the Epstein story gets pushed off the front page. And you have to understand, the contents of that file were absolutely devastating. We're talking about a 2019 FBI interview with a woman who alleged that Jeffrey Epstein introduced her to Donald Trump when she was just 13 years old, and then she details being sexually assaulted by Trump. And the Justice Department's official reason for hiding this for years? Get this, they claimed it was, quote, accidentally marked as a duplicate. This whole scenario has a name. It's called Wag the Dog, from that movie where a president literally invents a war to distract from a sex scandal. The theory we're looking at here argues that this isn't fiction. This is a desperate, real-life attempt to save a presidency from totally collapsing. But wait, Because the theory argues this goes way deeper than just a simple distraction. It suggests this isn't about changing the news cycle, it's about direct coercion and blackmail right at the highest levels of power. And here it is. This is the central claim of the whole theory, and it comes from a documented FBI informant's report. It alleges that Jeffrey Epstein wasn't just a predator. He was a recruited asset, a spy for Mossad, Israel's foreign intelligence agency.
So the theory lays out a classic compromise operation, compromise material. Step 1, lure powerful people to Epstein's properties, which are all bugged. Step 2, record them with secret cameras. And here's the key detail. The source claims that back in 2016, a whole new surveillance system was installed in his Manhattan home, not by some regular company, but by Israeli security officials. That would give a foreign spy agency direct control, which leads to the final step, blackmail.
Just let that sink in for a minute. The implication is staggering. It means the most damning evidence against Donald Trump isn't locked away in a Justice Department file somewhere. It's on a server, controlled by Mossad. And if that's true, that would give a foreign power absolute leverage over a sitting American president. So what's the ultimate price for these alleged secrets? Well, according to this theory, the price is a war. A war that serves one nation's interests at the devastating expense of America and, well, the rest of the world. The source uses this incredibly stark language to describe the whole dynamic. From this point of view, Trump's actions aren't the actions of an ally. They're the actions of someone who's being controlled, who's being forced to act against his own country's interests. So this is the bottom line, according to the theory. The United States gets a wrecked economy and a tarnished reputation. Israel gets the war with Iran it's wanted for a long, long time, and the entire world ends up paying the price for a conflict that's allegedly being fueled by secrets and by blackmail.
And we'll end on that thought. The material we've just gone through presents a really chilling theory, doesn't it? It connects a very personal scandal to a huge global conflict. And it forces us to ask, when the public reasons for a war just don't add up, what are the real reasons we're not being told? And who is it that truly pays the price